Welcome back to the CANDYcolored studio. I'm artist Katrina Berg, and this is episode 235. And I am so happy to be here today, joined with two beautiful artist friends. I have Jenna May Lineweaver and Sage Gallagher, who have joined me to share with you today about an art auction we are doing for our dear friends, Paul and Kathy cieslewicz. And we are just so happy to be here. So thank you, Jenna and Sage, for being here.
Thanks for having us. I'm so excited to share about why I wanted to do this auction. So when Kathy let me know about how she'd been in the hospital with her husband for like 3 weeks and then found out that he had lung cancer. And it just really hit me because she had just retired recently. And I know she wanted to spend that time doing art and everything else. But let me go back a little bit and share how I met Kathy and what she's meant to me as an artist. So it's actually hard for me to remember exactly when or how, but I have lived in St. George for 10 years. And at one point I saw the Sears Art Gallery and went in there. And I think I met her then and learned about an art show coming up. And I have been trying, I'm a mom of 5 and mostly have identified as a mom and a wife, and I've loved that, and it's the most important part of my life. But I also felt a pull to be doing my art again. And I went when I was there at the Sears Art Museum. Kathy, like, was always handing up, if you've been there before, she makes these beautiful bookmarks for all the different shows and things. So she's always handing those out. And one of them was also inviting to a show about Go Out and Play. And so that I happen to have, I actually do have it sitting up. This one, right? If you can see that one, that's my daughter on a swing. Anyway, so I got that was in the show, and it was a traveling show for 3 years around. So in the meantime, I met Kathy, and she had these lunches for the artists that she would put on to help us unite and get to know each other, and just so friendly and so loving and so encouraging. And so I had, at that point, I really didn't feel like I was an artist. I just like kind of tried to do stuff sometimes. So she invited me to join WOW, which is Women Out West, and it's like a professional artist. And I'm like, I'm not a professional artist. What do you mean? I can't join this. And she just was so encouraging and said, well, you get a headshot. You should have like a website. And so because of her, I did all those things and went to WOW. And we can talk about that later. But just to move on from there, going to WOW, I started doing my some African paintings from something that my neighborhood was supporting, an African village. Anyway, so I started painting. That's actually one of my last ones that I did. But I started working on, I don't know if I had my first one, but she said to me, if you keep doing those paintings, and I'll try to do a show for me, like 2 or 3 women to put together an African show at the Sears Art Gallery. And to me, where I'm like, I barely even feel like I was an artist, having her encourage me that way was really life-changing for me as an artist. So that's like a little or long introduction of what Kathy has meant to me. And I have more I could tell you, but those are just some minor things that just really have changed my life as an artist and as a person, just pushing myself. She is always so encouraging, but she also has like a high level of art that she expects and encourages you to reach toward it. And that, to me, is just an amazing quality that she has. And so that's why why I encourage the artists that from WOW and from other people from the Sears Art Gallery to donate for this auction. And I'll stop there for now if you have any other questions.
Well, thank you. That was such a great, brief introduction to your experience with Kathy. And it's true, Kathy and Paul just their partnership and supporting one another have touched so many lives in our community. And so we're just so grateful that we can spend some time together today and share with you some of our experiences. And I noticed that Natalie got on while Sage was talking. So Natalie, we just want to welcome you. And I thought I would let Jenna share a few things. Is that okay, Jenna?
Yes. I'm Jenna Lineweaver, Jenna May Lineweaver, and I went to school for oil painting, so I've always wanted to be an artist. And I practiced in the art field, doing my own like mixed media oil paint, and I also worked in the public art field, making large like fiberglass murals for businesses and universities. And I was really into that. Then I moved to Cedar City and met my husband. So I got married at like 31. So I'd been pretty active in the art field until that point. Anyway, I kind of put it away. I have 4 boys now, and I sort of put it away until I realized how important it was for me that was something that really I needed to be doing. And I kind of went through, it took me getting sick and really sick to realize that I needed to bring that part of my life back. So 7 years ago, we moved to St. George, and I started looking around for places to show work, and I heard about the Sears Invitational and called Kathy up. It was the first time I'd ever talked to her, and I pretty much was like, when should I bring my work in for the show? So it was kind of funny because the invitational part had kind of escaped my notice. And she was really nice. She was so sweet. She's like, well, you can't really just, bring your work into the show. But I ended up meeting with her, and she looked at my work, and she's so encouraging. And for someone who, like, I was really kind of starving for, I knew what it was like to be really active and to be doing really big stuff. And to have somebody kind of take an interest was like exactly what I needed at that point in my life. To have someone look at me with respect and to look at my work and treat me like an equal, a professional, and to encourage me was like everything for me. Kathy was so important in my development as an artist. She was the one who I eventually did start showing in the Sears Invitational, and she kind of organized Miriam Rawson, Peg Wheeler, and Kirsten, and I into the Red Dirt Girls, and organized that show. And we had so much fun. We really just had a great time with that show, and we still like meet, and we're making some plans if we can kind of start painting. It's mostly me, really. Everyone else is probably painting great, but my kids have become teenagers now, and so it's kind of pulled me away a little bit again. But I just love Kathy. She means so much to me. She may not know that because I don't talk a lot, about those things, and I'm not totally social, but I really want to be able to help her in any way I can,
Yeah.
Because she treats people with respect and kindness, and she's just so genuine, very authentic.
Yes.
And I love that about her. So I'm really excited to be able to show some of my work. Should I introduce some of my work, or
Sure. Yeah, we would love
later?
that. Thank you.
Okay, I put several little pieces in the auction. I've been doing these little succulent pieces. And this one's fun because it has the Christmas colors, and just a busy little fun, playful piece. Playing with color, bouncing around and on the leaves. These are like my fun pieces. I do large figurative abstract pieces, but these are like kind of when I really just want to play around and have fun. These are what I do. And this other one is more, it's another one playing with color and light and succulents. They're just so much fun to paint because of the shapes, you know, and the lovely colors. I just love those. So these are like the two pieces that I put into the show.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm showing. So
Oh, well, thank you. I love your work. Now, Jenna, is it oil or acrylic? What are you doing for your medium?
these are oil paintings.
Nice.
Right. And I start with acrylic underneath the kind of get my sketch out, then start with the acrylic, which I feel is really a good layering medium. It gives you something to paint on. And then I get into it with the oils.
That's so great. I love it. Well, Jenna, thank you so much for sharing. And I love the pieces that you have offered for the auction. So definitely we'll show some more of these. In fact, Natalie, if you would like to share, I can share your piece. Would you like me to do that? And you can talk to us and we can look at your work while you're talking.
Oh, so she says she can't speak right now.
Oh, she can't speak right now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she's at work.
Okay. Maybe we can. Okay. I'm just going to read what she said. She says she's at work, so she can't speak at the moment. She's actually friends with Kathy's son, Jared. Okay. She says she works for Lyman Whitaker, who's a kinetic artist. He donated 2 sculptures. Jared was one of my best friends in high school. Oh, Natalie, that's so awesome. She says, I was extremely introverted. I didn't have many friends. My sister Carrie also knows one of Kathy's kids. We adore the whole family and think they are so amazing. Lyman is always on board to help wherever he can. And his website is Whitaker Studio.com.
There are 2 pieces on the auction.
Yes. In fact, I can share it and we can look at those real quick. How about that while we're talking about it? And then I'm also going to show you Jenna May line weavers, if that's okay. So let's see. Can you see that, ladies?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is if you look at the very top, well, I'm just going to click on it and then we can see Jenna's, which those of you that were watching on YouTube, you got to see her actually hold up the piece and see it with its frame. Mm-hmm. So that's the first one, a succulent crowd. And then we've got, tell me if I think I'm going to come to Jenna's before I come to sculptures.
They just go random the way that they load in. So
oh, that's fine. It's totally fine. I like that. Oh, here's one of Lyman's. Let's do one of Lyman's. Okay. So this is a star dancer and it is a large wind sculpture. And if you haven't seen Lyman sculptures, they're amazing. So definitely I would encourage people to go check them out. Again, all these pieces, you can bid on them until, remind me, is it December 7th?
December 7th. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, December 7th. And Lyman's, his starting bid is $525, but it's worth $1,500. So
maybe click on that other photo too, to just show how it looks.
Yeah. Let's look at the other one so you can see what it looks like in the landscape. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, they are
pretty.
You can see how beautiful they are. And this, of course, is down in southern Utah, but I've seen them up here in northern Utah and they look exquisite no matter where they are. So especially for those of us that are getting snow and you want something like just beautiful to just bring you comfort during the winter, I would say this would be really great. So that's one of Lyman's pieces. And then the second one is called Desert Flame. And we're looking at that, but I'm going to scroll to the other pictures really quickly. Here is a picture of them in like a planter, like a landscape planter. You can see how beautiful it looks. And then there's another photo with it kind of in would that be a sunrise? Do you think that's a sunrise? Awesome. Or a sunset? I don't know.
Either one, right? Natalie did just say they just installed one in Lehigh at a children's hospital, I think it said.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. Well, that is very exciting. So those are Lyman's pieces. And then I want to try to find Jenna's. Oh, here it is. Here's Jenna's other piece. And she's right. The colors and the detail and just that zoomed in quality is so joyful. And I think that's what we all need right now. It's a great way to celebrate Paul and Kathy and all that they've done for us. So these are excellent pieces. And then should we show yours real quick too, Sage, while we're here?
Sure. I
And
want to
then
put one, and I'm going to put another one up. Just also, there are a lot of prints too that have been donated that I need to put in. Like that
Oh,
one
that's
behind me,
great.
right
Okay.
here. That's a Kimball Warren Giclée print. And so I'm going to be putting those in too. And so we will have more art being added. So
That's great.
one of the things, I'll go ahead and talk about this one for a second. At the Women Out West retreat, it's such a fun, relaxing and joyful event for me. And that's where I very first did some plein air painting. And I have some of my first ones sitting in a pile over there, and they were so bad. And they're still, I'm still not, I don't consider myself a plein air painter, but I really enjoy doing it. This one I did just recently. I mean, you can see the picture there, so maybe it's.
Oh yeah, here, let me stop sharing so you can show us the real thing.
So,
Okay.
I don't know, my camera seems a little, I don't know if it needs to be wiped off or what. Anyway, so yeah, this painting I did actually in the St. George Plein Air Festival last year in 2022, yeah. And that's in Snow Canyon here in St. George. But just for me, that doing plein air is just such an interesting and fun experience to do, because you're out in the weather or whatever it might be, and just absorbing your environment and being able to share what colors you see and what shapes you're seeing. So that for me is kind of also thanks to WOW, which is thanks to Kathy, that I was able to start experiencing that. I've also decided, to put in this is my favorite painting from the Africa series that I did. I had 26 pieces in the show, and I started because of this. My neighbor started a charity where we supported a city, or really a village in rural Uganda, and every month we would help them start some kind of business. So through that, I got to know various women just through chatting on Facebook, and got to know about the different women and what they were doing. And I thought, everyone has a story, and I wanted to share the importance of every person. And so I asked one of the women who did the work there in Uganda if she could take pictures of everyone. And so and also share their story. So that was kind of, I started originally, I don't think I have one in front of me right now. My original paintings, the idea was to have the story behind them also, because I like to write in my, some of my work so that was kind of where I started, and then I went on from there. But this painting is actually a different village. We didn't directly support them, but it was people that we had supported who later sent me some paintings or some photos to paint from. So I haven't actually been to Uganda, but this woman, I'll bring it closer. But this one, I just was really struck with the look on her face. Is a little sad. And what that was told to me, she was a woman, mother of 5 children, and she was actually waiting to get food during the COVID shutdown. And it was after her husband had left her. So I was just, for me, a lot of the compassion I felt to her, I felt is put into this painting. So that's one I'm going to share.
Oh, Sage, I love that piece so much. I love your whole series, but that piece in particular, it's caught my eye in the past. So what a great way for you to support Paul and Kathy by sharing that special piece.
Yeah, it's hard to, like Jenna said, it's hard to convey what Kathy means to us, because she is very unassuming and just kind, and just really such a great person. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to have enough people see what we're offering. And even, just, there's also even a donation button if you want to do that. And just a note, they do, so we're using betterworld.org, and I haven't ever run an auction before, and they seem like a pretty good one. But just note, when you're making your purchase, it will give you a donation amount to them. You can lower that, you can remove it. So just make sure you click on the little question mark. And if you don't want to be donating whatever they're asking percentage, don't feel obligated to do that. I mean, I think they'll get enough to continue with what they're doing. So, I mean, I want to support them because they did make it easy to put the auction together. But I also know that, if you're saying, okay, I want to donate this, and then like that much more goes to the someplace you maybe don't really care about, you can lower that amount, just so you know.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for clarifying that, because it's true. There's so many great platforms out there, but we haven't all experienced them all yet. So that's good. Well, I thought I would share just a few things personally about my experience with Kathy. So I was just so fortunate that she randomly called me on the phone one time, and I answered the phone. And I just immediately fell in love with her. She's just a beautiful soul. I think it was Jenna that said she's totally authentic. And that is so true. I could just go on and on about how much personally she has done for me, just being a supportive friend and also a mother figure in my life. And I just appreciate that about her. And yet I think the main things that I got out of Kathy and the experience that I've had down in St. George is that for me, I feel like Kathy is we talked about her being an amazing supporter, but she's also a connector. She's such a connector of people. And she makes it really easy for you to find a support group and a home where you can just feel that the confidence from other artists and friends. And so I noticed that when I started going to Business of Art, and I was going to be a presenter, and yet I came away with so many fun friends, and there were van loads of us that would come down from northern Utah just to spend the weekend together and to learn together at the Business of Art. And it was just fascinating because there was always so many different topics, different things that you could go and learn about. But then there was always time to just get to know other artists that were in a similar stage. Like for those of us that were, moms with kids at home, whether they're teenagers or little toddlers, and a lot of people would come from out of state. And so I met artists from not only Utah, but beyond, just because of this amazing event, the Business of Art. And then of course, WOW has such a great purpose and mission. And it's been great to just be able to follow what the WOW has been doing. And then of course, Sears Art Museum and the whole team that works with Kathy. And I know that Kathy wouldn't have been able to do all the things she has done in her career at Sears if it wasn't for Paul. And I know they've gone on lots of like tours where they go teach about the arts and all kinds of stuff. Did either of you ladies ever get to do that with them?
I didn't. No, I would have liked to, but just never worked out.
Oh, well, if we could just get everything, I mean, that would be, if there was one wish for me, I think that I would say to have an opportunity to go on a trip with Paul and Kathy, that would be like a dream thing. But they are just so awesome. And again, there's been so many great things that they have done to support our community. And I'm just so grateful. I'll just show you my pieces real quick. So I wanted to just share a couple small pieces that are just the perfect gifts, gift giving pieces at this time of year. I don't know how great the camera is, but you can see I use a lot of thick oil paint. This is on wood. This is a cute little yellow bird, and the name of it is Blueless Bird. I name most of my paintings after favorite songs and singers. This one is sung by Joni. And then I did another one, and these are 4 inches, but they're framed, so the total size is 4 inches. This is another one, just a little sunflower. And I did a little mini series of sunflowers the past few years just to represent how there's so many of us that are still growing and blooming in difficult circumstances. And that's a lot of what sunflowers represent. They all also represent turning towards the sun. And I love that because it can also be a very spiritual connotation. And I think about that a lot with Paul and Kathy. And so this one is named Dindy. It's by the beautiful bossa nova song by Astrud Gilberto. And if you look, they all have a little sawtooth. They have the name and the song. So you can hang them on your wall, but then it also comes with an easel, a cute little wooden easel. So if you just want to have it displayed on a shelf. So there's that. And I would just make the recommendation that if you see some beautiful artwork that you know that Kathy and Paul would enjoy, this is a great time to not only donate, but then send them that artwork. And I know that that would give them a lot of peace and comfort at this time. So again, these pieces are just great for gift giving, all the auction items. In fact, if it's okay with you ladies, should we scroll through some of these?
Yeah,
And
let's do that.
Sage has had some people reach out to her that couldn't, that wanted to just share some information about their work. And so I'm going to share the screen. Let's see. So we'll just share the screen. Maybe. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're going back to Sage's, but then I'll back up and go back to the main page here. So I'll just start at the top or you can tell me who to look for, Sage.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and start at the top and we'll just talk about each one.
Okay.
We
So
can talk about each one right now. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is what it'll look like when you go to the website. We'll have the link in the show notes, and then everyone will share the link to to the auction as well. So, okay, go ahead.
So I don't know how many of you know Nancy. She has done, actually, at one of the Business of Arts, she did, I think it was. Anyway, she has presented as well. She makes her own watercolors, and she's a lot of fun. So she wasn't able to make it today, but she has really beautiful work. And this one is actually oil. She usually does watercolor, but she also has the beautiful skill with her colors in oil. So that's a beautiful one.
Yeah. And I'll just add a couple things about Nancy. She and I met even before school started, our freshman year at BYU. And so we've been friends for longer. I've been friends with her longer than most people that I know. And we were roommates all through college. And she was primarily an oil painter. And then her mentor, Bruce Hickson Smith, taught her how to make her own watercolor paints. And these are very vibrant watercolor handmade paints. So those of you that are looking on the YouTube, you can actually see the bright colors, but you have to see them in real person. They're just incredible. So yeah, she does do both the oil and the watercolor, but she's becoming more and more known for her watercolor paints, and you can buy them from her. So did you want to say anything else about Nancy? Should we sell? This is called Vert Clair, which is like vert in French is green, and then Claire is like clearly green. I'm guessing that's what she was. It's a very green, it's mostly green, and it looks like a Monet garden piece. So it's really beautiful. So there's that.
Let's see, I think.
And then you have.
Was it from Jane? Hang on 1 second.
She's kind of checking. We had people email us information about their work. I'll just scroll down a minute while you're looking so that everyone can see.
I'll have you go back up to the Jane Hardiman's
okay.
The Village Below Sunset. She did right. And so let me just read what she wrote. It says, Kathy and her husband have been very supportive of the art community here in Southern Utah. I was motivated to help because of her husband's help. My painting for the auction was from my love of light against dark. The contrast always interests me. Kathy helped me win my first blue ribbon at the Red Cliff Gallery. While at the Sears Gallery, I saw many reproductions of paintings from the past that were being given away for free. I took as many as I could to share with our group, Desert Colors Studio in Green Springs. Little did I know that right after receiving the paintings, I would be able to contribute them back for Paul and Kathy to help. So that brings me to what I haven't actually, this is my big project for today, is to upload all those free, reproductions that she sent. And one of them is this right here. I don't know whether I don't really have time for me to show them all, but they are these Giclée prints. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Giclée, I think that's how you say it.
Giclée.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will be putting those up, and so that was something that's really sweet that Jane did. It brought them all to me so she can share that for Paul and Kathy. And here's her painting as well.
Awesome. Great. Okay. And then while you're looking for the next one, I'll just kind of
And we
say
just go
who they're by.
Yeah.
We've got Miriam Rawson,
And she's
Megan.
one of, sorry, I'll just maybe, if I know something, I'll say something.
Okay, good. Tell
So,
us about Miriam's.
and Jenna will know more because she is one of the Red Dirt girls that
Oh,
showed.
that's right.
But she's, yeah. So maybe Jenna, if you have something you can share about Miriam.
Oh, Miriam she does a lot of fabric work and quilting. She did that mostly when she was not painting, when she was being a mom, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like her work has a lot of really fun aspects of the quilting, like really strong design elements. You can see that, like the patterns in this painting. This is such a good painting. I really like the kind of abstract background, the colors, the oranges and blues. They're just so beautiful. But Miriam is so much fun. She's great. I think she's kind of like our leader of the Red Dirt Girls in some ways. So yeah, she's just, I really like this little painting. And of course, a lot of her paintings have a spiritual element to them that I really appreciate. They're very symbolic, and they deal with women and our relationship with the world and with our situations.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jenna.
You're welcome.
Do you want to share about Megan Sage?
Sure. Megan is a teacher actually now at Utah Tech. Sorry, I had to think for a minute how to say that. And she's someone that I can almost consider my sister because we have so much in common and have been able to go to WOW a couple times together. And really, she's just such a great person. I really love Megan. And she went to New York City during COVID and went to the New York Academy of Art, I think is the right name, where she went and got her master's in art. So, and she shared this one.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I'm glad to hear that Megan's back. I wondered if she was back from New York.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You'll have to give her a hug for me when you see her.
I will.
Well, I love her piece, and I guess we should describe it. So it's a gorgeous desert scape with the sage brush, and it's stunning. So that's a fun piece. And then Susan Moss. Do either of you know her? She is such a fun artist. I'll just click on hers real quick. This is a beautiful abstract, bright, fun colors, reds and pinks and teals and yellows. And it's just a gorgeous piece. It's called Divine Duet. And it's wonderful. So there's that one by Susan. And then we've got Julie Rogers.
And Julie Rogers is wonderful. Also, I don't know, I have only good things to say about her. She's just such a great painter. And I'll let you say something about her too, but she's just a tremendous artist.
Yeah, she is a tremendous artist. And she, most of us know her for her portraiture and her distinct style. And that is a beautiful piece. It's called Forever. Just FYI, Zoom will kick us off in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna kind of go through these as quickly as we can, but we'll just encourage you to go check them all out. Mel Scott is another artist that many of us know from WOW and Business of Art. She's done an alcohol ink on ceramic tile, and it is framed, and it's also stunning and just really embraces nature and just color and shapes. And I think it's wonderful. You guys have any, just jump in if you want to add anything to these. We've got Kirsten, who I absolutely love. And she's one of your, what do you guys call yourselves? The
Red Dirt Girls.
Yes, we love Kirsten. And so this is her Lightbringer, and it's a stunning portrait of the Savior. And of course, the color is so vibrant. The light, those are just amazing. So Kirsten, thank you for sharing this one. This is such a beautiful piece. And that one is a mixed media from Kirsten. And then we've got Marion Rawson. She also did the Owl Whisperers. Did she just do 2 pieces? Or I guess we're going to have lots of pieces. You're going to have the prints from her too?
There might be 3. I can't remember.
Okay. So this is a really great portrait with the owls. Anyways, that's a neat piece. Then
Let
we've
me read
got
something that, and go ahead to the next one, Meredith Chandler. She
wonderful.
sent here, and I'll go ahead and read this. So she went, excuse me. She says, well, she's also experienced a similar ordeal in her life as Kathy. Her brother has terminal esophageal cancer. And so she wanted to share this. Her steps to Vernal is based on a trip my husband and I took the summer of 2022 to Yosemite. Their favorite and most treacherous hike was to Vernal Falls. The majority of the trail consisted of 600 extremely cracked and variable stone steps. The painting is done in both watercolor and ink. I chose to go quite dark and heavy with the black ink because there were times during that hike where I could hardly see the waterfall because I felt like I was blacking out. I was exhausted, sweaty, and every muscle in my body felt like it was going to give way. However, beyond the heavy blackness were beautiful and natural colors that propelled me and my husband forward. Eventually, we made it to the top of the falls, which gave us a breathtaking view of the park and access to fresh, clear waters. We sat at the top of the falls for over 2 hours to rest, but to also take in every calming moment that our surroundings gave us. In many ways, this hike represents challenges that we all experience. We know a colorful and serene goal is in sight, but sometimes it's clouded by a darkness that we find almost impossible to overcome. But for some reason, we keep going because we know the end is well worth the struggle. So that was what she shared.
That is awesome. Well, that's a beautiful piece. It's watercolor and ink. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you, Meredith, for sending in that piece.
So if we don't have time to go through everyone's, I know there's a lot of great art.
Maybe we'll just
let's do
scroll
Bev.
and say their names. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be great. But
So
just
we've
a
got,
quick note about Bev.
yeah,
Beverly Mangum also worked with Kathy at
Kathy.
the Sears Art Gallery, and just what a great support and beautiful person she is, and how she's also been very helpful in getting this organized, the auction organized, and despite having health issues herself. So I just want to thank Beverly for all that she has done too.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
I
thank
really
you.
love Carol Bold's work. The Winter Harmony painting there. I feel like her work is really just like her name.
Just bold, yeah.
It's bold and it's beautiful. The compositions are always perfect and the colors are wonderful. So
I love
she
Carol too.
really like
Yeah.
her work.
Yeah, her work is wonderful. We do have a encaustic piece by Shari Lyon. We've got Denise Gilroy, Winter Sketch, Loretta Clausen with her Zion Majesty. I'm telling you, you have to go in and look at each one of these pieces. Becky Clune did her amazing, she put together one of her assemblage pieces of wood. We've got Valerie Orlman, Mel Scott again, Shirley Smith, Lyman, we already talked about his, Laura Sharp, Katie Garner, Rachel Williams, Christy Grusendorf, Pam Beach, Karen Betleon. Oh gosh, less than a minute. Anyways, just so you guys know, we just love.
Can we, I just want to finish with what Susan Bingham wrote, because Susan is the one who hosts WOW over at Mount Carmel at the at her property there, which was Maynard Dixon's property. She says, this is what Susan wrote. Kathy has done so much for women artists in Utah, especially with the WOW group she started many years ago. So many wonderful women artists have been discovered and had the chance to network with one another. Kathy is always there for others and has been a bright star. Oh, did we get, not, okay, no, we're good. She's been a bright star, as a curator at Utah Tech University. Very happy to support this auction. I encourage others to buy art in order to help Kathy and Paul through this difficult journey. She is loved by so many, including me. The rooster painting I donated to the auction is a fun piece